Hello, boys and girls. How are you doing? All right, today we're going to talk about present perfect continuous. And the way that I'm going to do this, the way that I'm going to explain this is I'm going to make reference, I'm going to compare this to other structures that you should be familiar with. The structures that we're going to use are going to be present continuous and present perfect. So if you are not familiar with present continuous and present perfect, I suggest you go and check my other videos until you understand what that is. And then when you are clear, when you understand, and then come back and watch this video. All right, we're going to start with present continuous. Okay, and we're going to make an example. We're going to use the sentence, I am walking to the park. Now, I know that you are familiar with present continuous. I'm not explaining present continuous, but I want you to notice something. We know that present continuous has two verbs. We have the verb to be over here, which is the representation of the auxiliary verb. And then we have the verb to walk in this case, which is representing now our main verb. Now notice how the verb to be is conjugated in the simple present form. And the verb to walk is conjugated in the gerund form or the present participle form. And every time that we talk about continuous, we are talking about present participle or gerund. So pay attention to that, to the first verb in simple present and the main verb in gerund or present participle. Now let's take, for example, present perfect. Okay, and we're going to use the same sentence. We're just going to transform it now into present perfect. So I'm going to say, I have walked to the park. Okay, and in this time we have the verb to have, which represents our auxiliary verb, and then walk, which is again our main verb. The verb to have, or the auxiliary verb, is in the simple present conjugation, and the verb to walk is in the past participle conjugation. And every time that we talk about perfect, we are referring to the past participle. So you see, present continuous, the first verb is in present, the second verb is in the continuous form or in the gerund form. Then we have present perfect. The first verb is in the simple present form, and the verb to walk over here in the perfect form or the past participle form. All right, so the name of the tense actually helps you understand the structure of the tense. Now we are talking about present perfect continuous. And so now it should not be difficult for you to understand how the structure is going to be in present perfect continuous. You see, present continuous, we have two verbs. Present perfect, we have two verbs. Present perfect continuous, we're now going to have three verbs. The first verb that we're going to have is the verb to have, all right? And it's going to be in this part, so I'm going to conjugate it in the simple present form. So I'm going to say have. The second verb that I'm going to put is the verb to be, and is in this part, which is the perfect form. And as I said before, every time we say perfect, we're talking about past participle. The past participle of the verb to be is been. And then the last verb, because we're repeating the same example, we're going to use the verb walk. And as I said before, every time we say continuous, we're talking about present participle or gerund. So I'm going to conjugate the verb to walk in the gerund form. The rest will stay the same. So again, we have now two auxiliaries. We have the verb to have and we have the verb to be. The verb to have will be conjugated in the simple present form. The verb to be will be conjugated in the perfect form or the past participle form. And then the main verb, which in this case is to walk, is going to be conjugated in the continuous form or in the gerund form. Now, in what situations do we use present perfect continuous? If you are familiar with present perfect, then you are more or less familiar with present perfect continuous. They express the same thing. The only difference is present perfect continuous make emphasis on time. All right? Let's make an example. I'm going to use the phrase, Um, I have been going to the gym because everybody that knows me knows that I love the gym. Normally, when you use a sentence in present perfect continuous, you're going to have for or since because you are making emphasis on duration or you're making emphasis on time. And for or since help you with those expressions. So you could say, for example, I have been going to the gym for 10 years, or I have been going to the gym since 2015. I mean 2005. All right? Well, that's basically everything you need to know about present perfect continuous. The negative form and the question form is done exactly the same as any other structure. And if you want to know more about that, we have other videos for that. All right, see you later.